It's about time we put this 3133 back together. It's been a crazy week, crazy weather. FedEx was late delivering some oils that I ordered, some Mobius, specifically 9010 and D5. I also have some 8200 that I use. But I already installed the Cannon pinion and center wheel. That's right here. That's pretty straightforward stuff. The balance jewel on the movement side, that's installed, ready to go. What we're going to do is just start putting this together. This bridge assembly with that 2-gear system, I lubed that jewel already right there with some Mobius 9010, and we're going to install this. The first thing, we're going to get our escape wheel close by. Not that it has to be close, but I just want it within reach. There it is. And we're going to take this other bridge assembly, I don't know what you call it, but it's got that long center shaft coming through for the second hand, and that's a nice little guide. It'll guide you right into that jewel that it fits through. Let's make sure I'm in the shot, and you're just gonna sneak that under the center wheel. Let's get the bridge out of the way. Is this the only way to do it? I don't know, but it's the way I'm doing it because I don't have that much experience with this. So there it is, but the escape wheel has to fit next into that jewel and then be captured by that bridge. Not that difficult of an operation. Just takes a little time. It's a little tedious. The nice thing is you can see everything pretty clearly. Once it falls into place, it just kind of lays right in there. I'm not working real close with this, so I can let the camera get in tight. Okay. I might have to get in tight with the loop here. I'm just taking it out of the shot to have a look. Okay. So that escape wheel is in its jewel, and it's engaged with that lower gear. And I'm going to pick up the bridge and just walk it over like that. It's not lined up, but we're gonna tinker with it to get things lined up. We're gonna take a look, tilt it a little bit, move it around, give it a tap. Everything seems you can see right there that escape wheel is not through the jewel, so I'm out of the shot probably, so I just reach in here with my tweezers, give it a just pull it back into alignment. You can see right there it's pretty straight, looks pretty good. A quick look through the jewel here, you can see the axle coming through the post, the shaft, whatever you want to call it. Let me get my screw handy, and if I give this gear just a touch, you can see that escape wheel moving. If I was in the shot, you could. There you go, it's in the shot, so you can see that moving. So we didn't have to take that top gear off. We can clean the assembly, we can lubricate it, we can take it apart, we can put it together. The less gear movement there is, the better chance of things lining up nicely. Now, I didn't tighten that screw all the way, but if you notice, that's spinning rather freely. That's pretty nice. So I'm happy that that bridge is tight, or not tight, that it's lined up. The dowel pins are already in place. We'll give that a little snug tightness there. And that was my big concern. What were we going to do with this situation here? And I think I came up with a good a good way to take care of that. Now next is going to be the gear. I don't know if it's a first, second, or third. You know me. It doesn't matter. It's just going to go in. We know what it is. We know where it goes. That is a separate little bridge, 2 pins, and a screw holds that in place. Where did I get that from? There it is. I'm just making sure I got the screw. It's a very tiny countersunk screw, flathead. You know, really nothing to line up here. It just falls in. You can tell by the counter bore of the bridge that goes up, and our screw goes in next. Now, we drop that gear in there. There's no way to get to the back side of it to lubricate it. So we're going to do that now. I know I said before I'm not going to talk about oils because that seems to be the sticking point with a lot of people. And I don't want to get into a discussion on what oils to use or what's best to use. What do you do? But I figured maybe somebody wants to know. Maybe they want to know where to start. Well, Mobius 9010 I use on all the jewels. I'm going to put a smear of oil on that. I use 9010 for all the jewels, and I use for the pallet stones 941 for the stones themselves, but 9010 for all the other balanced or all the other jeweled parts. This seems to be pretty consistent with a lot of watchmakers, especially EDTA movements. And I figured, hey, if I could move on from these to an EDTA. Now listen to me. ETA. How many people know what EDTA is? EDTA is a blood anticoagulant. Okay, we're going to drop this gear. I think it goes in like this. I think. Here I am calling it EDTA. The Swiss movement. It's ETA. EDTA is an anticoagulant that allows blood not to clot. There you go. So that's in place. We're going to drop in the barrel next. For barrel lube, I'm using D5. That is a Mobius lubricant. I'm going to put that right on that ball, where the barrel pivots. We put a little bit of D5 right there. So I'm getting into telling people what kind of lubricants I'm using. And if some people don't like it, okay, they don't have to like it. Doesn't matter to me. This is what I came up with. This is what I use. EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. That is an anticoagulant additive in a lavender colored blood drawing tube. It's also used in pink tops for type and cross and blood bank work. It's the same additive. So ETA, EDTA, yeah, I get things a little mixed up. I'm going to put our bridge in next, but I'm going to take that center jewel and put a smear of oil on that, and that will be, like I said, that'll be 9010. Anything jeweled like that will get 9010. Balanced jewels, they get 9010. And let's put that aside for now. We're going to put a little bit D5 on the top of that mainspring barrel. Just a smear on that. D5. All these are Mobius lubricants. Hopefully we can get this done in short time, but you know how that goes. Doesn't always happen with my talking. So we have to line up two jewels and the arbor for the mainspring barrel. Doesn't look like it's going to be difficult. As you just saw, I just laid that in there. In fact, I don't think I have to do anything. That fell right into place like it's supposed to. So if we give that center wheel a nudge, you can see the escape wheel turning nicely, or the barrel. Let's come around here to the barrel, give the barrel a nudge. You can see everything running smoothly. Where's the barrel? There it is. Of course I can't see it. There you go. I'm just nudging that barrel a little bit and everything's moving nicely. So now that that bridge is set, we're going to screw that down. However, I gotta find my screws. Okay, what did I do with them? After this, we're gonna flip this over and do the keyless works. There's one, there's one. I have things scattered about. There they are, hiding in the corner. Alright, let's get it in the shot. Pretty straightforward stuff from here. Putting this together, working on it. I gotta say, these are really big movements. They're easy to work on. They're made well. Nice and precise. And it's the ever famous 3133. I have about, I forget how many I have of these. I gotta have 7 or 8 of them, maybe more, and a couple of parts watches, or parts movements. Okay, these are tight. That big concern for me was that assembly over here. This was having me worried, but I think it went pretty smoothly, pretty well. That's pretty slick. Okay, I didn't lubricate this guy yet, the click. So we're going to do that now. Actually, I put it together without lubricating it, so I forgot. So now's a chance to see. I took the click off, and I'm going to put a tiny smear of, let's put some D5 on that, just a touch. D5 is like a thick, oil, almost a grease. It's not quite a grease. Like 8200 is more like a grease. This would be more like a thick oil. Okay, this has a pin that goes downward like so. Let's get it in the shot. Genius. Pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing extraordinary with a click and the click screw. Of course, I got to get the screw lined up and going. Okay. That should be freely moving. The click back and forth. You should feel no resistance in that. That looks good. We're going to put a smear of D5 on that arbor once again on top. Just a smear. It's not going to take much because I already have some on the back side of that. Next, we're going to put in the click spring. And this has a little bent end right here, which is going to engage that hole. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that in so it rests against the post on the click. It's laid in there, ready to go. I'm going to put a finger on it and hold on to it, and my old technique of holding it with a finger so it doesn't fly out if it doesn't like it, and stay in there. And before it has a chance to escape, we're going to put on the ratchet wheel. Is that what we call this? Okay, let's call this a ratchet wheel. Okay. There we go. Ratchet wheel. I don't know what a lot of people use for lubricants. I'm sure they're using Mobius lubricants. It seems to be the industry standard. I wouldn't even know where to start if I wasn't using Mobius. They're not the most, they are the most expensive oils to use. I think some 9010 cost me, or let's see, 2 mils of 9010, that was about 50 bucks, $48. Pricey stuff, but it'll do thousands of watches. Not that I plan on doing thousands, but you never know. Okay, click is working. When I give that a nudge, let's get it in the shot. You give that a nudge. Click is working. When you back it up, it locks. And look at that, everything's moving along. Next, we have the winding, what's that called? A winding wheel? I don't know. But it has this little bushing. And it's going to sneak under that spring, we hope. There we go. It did. Little D5 on that as well. That seems to be a D5 type area to get lubricated. And we're just going to put a... Are we in the shot? We are. Okay. We'll put a little there and a little there. Works for me. Let's put something on the top here. That'll work its way around. It'll work its way in from the movement of the gears and the mechanism. And our winding wheel, winding crown, what's this called? I have no idea. I believe this goes this way, this direction. Okay, I want to get it under that spring. That jumper spring. Daisy, relax. Okay. It's not a tight fit, but you're not really moving that spring much. You're just giving it a nudge, and it comes right in. It fits right in there. So don't feel you're damaging that spring. I certainly don't think it is. Then again, I'm no expert. I am not a pro. And you have to remember how this goes on. I think it only goes on one way, because you have a one of the chrono axles is coming through that one of the counters. We're going to snug that up. I'll line that up first. I'm going to build this up until the point of the key. We'll do the key works, because I'm going to break this down into a few parts. Maybe 3 parts total, because it might take some time because of the chronograph, the date function. I doubt we're going to do any adjustments. I may make one on just adjusting these. Okay, there we go. I give that wheel a nudge, everything starts spinning. That's a beautiful sign, a good thing. So let's turn this over. How many minutes are we at? 20 minutes. Let's do the keyless works. When we flip this over, you want to be mindful of what's underneath, that there's nothing in the way. You know what? Before we do that, let's get some lubrication on these things. These jewels that we just installed the gears for. Let's see, let's get a little schmear here. There's our balance, there's our pallet fork, we have the escape wheel here. We're going to put some, what do we have, 9010, 2 mils of 9010. No, we're not putting 2 mils in. And right here is the hour counter shaft. We're going to put a schmear on that as well. Make sure that gets in there. We're going to come back around to this side. This we lubricated before we even put it on. This one will be next. This wheel, again with 9010. And this we did already. And now the escape wheel. We're going to put a schmear on the escape wheel jewel. Okay, that's all 9010. 9010 for anything jeweled. It's easy to remember. And now when you do move any gears and they do ride those, spin those up, they'll be lubricated. You won't have to worry about any dry moving parts. Trixie, be good. Alright, so let's do the keyless works. Let's work from this side because you can see it better. There's many ways to do these keyless works. Some people like to install them first. I like the idea that that bridge on the other side, the mainspring bridge, is holding everything in place. Is that always the best way? Well, it is for me. Who knows what other people like? As far as I'm concerned, if it works for you, do it. If your way works, go for it. Hey, relax. Dogs are all excited today. So, we're going to put the stem in. Okay, there we go. For this little slot here that our lever is going to go into, I like to put a little grease on that. I think the thickest grease I have is 8200. It's a Mobius lubricant. It's is it the proper grease for this? Who knows? But it's pretty thick. It's very slippery. I like to put a schmear on those, on the clutch teeth. Why not? It's not going to hurt anything. And then we're going to put in the, what do you call this? Don't know. This guy, right there. Hey, hey! Trixie, behave! Good girl. Dogs are nuts. I think that's the direction that goes. Alright. Next we're going to install, I'm not sure what it's called. We're going to put a smear of grease on the inside of that. This is the little button you push to release the stem from its captivity. Okay. And those two contact points right there, I'm going to put a smear of 8200 as well. I don't know if that's the proper grease, but it's the thickest I got and the only thing I got, so we're using it. That might be a bit much. Let's try that. Just a drop, not even. Okay, now before we put that spring on, let's put in our gears. And even though they're not jeweled, we are going to use some 9010 on those shafts right here. Is 9010 the proper lubricant? Who knows? Some lube is better than no lube, as they say. And if you have to, lubricate yourself, as always. Okay. Next, we could probably drop in those gears. We have one. I think one of these has a rounded end. Maybe not. It's not that one. Maybe it doesn't. I thought one of these was rounded or curved. This one right here. I don't believe it does. Let me get a close look at that. No, looks like it's can go on any direction. Alright, there we go. And then there's another one that's going to fit there. That is not it. Alright, come on. That is not it. It is this one. Okay, and then we move that lever and you'll see it engages. There you go. When you turn everything. Are we focused? We are. So now that we have that in place, we're going to install the spring. Springs always make me nervous because they can go flying out at any time. They can drive you nuts. Pegwood, tweezers, fingers, whatever you need to get that thing to behave is what I like to do, is just get it in there. So I got it installed. You can see the short piece here. There's where the mounting screw is. Trying to work around this camera. Doesn't seem to be working so good. Okay. I'm all about making it simple and keeping things from flying away, because that would make me nuts. Alright, I think our keeper can go on next, but I do believe we got to put a wheel on first. Yes, we do. We got one more wheel to put on. Let's put a, I'm taking this out of the shot right here. There's a little smear of oil on that post for the minute wheel. Is this a minute wheel? Maybe. Hour wheel, minute wheel. Okay. Once you do one of these, you're going to want to do more. You're going to want to buy more and collect more and just keep tinkering. And if you want, try different things. Try different oils, different lubricants, or, you know, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you just want to stick with what you have. Alright, this looks pretty straightforward. We have a hole here that passes through. We have a mounting screw. We have a pin. There's a pin right there. And this should snap into place. But let's release this guy. I'm going to get a screw started first to capture everything. Although I got two different kinds of screws. Okay, here we go. Here's a screw. If I can get it to get in there. I got a couple of emails, private messages I guess you would call it. I should show my technique for balance jewels, how to lubricate balance jewels. This is being a pain. So I'm going to do that soon. And it'll be a little discussion on balance jewels. And I was going to... you horse's ass. That thing popped out. It's right there. Let me get the other one in. Balance jewels, and I think I was going to do something else, but I forget. I forget already. Let's try this one. But that'll be short. Balance jewel lubrication. Okay. I gotta go rescue that screw. Let me just get this a little snug. Okay, let's get that screw out. It fell into a hole, and I just tipped it out. Okay. All right. It's one of those days that some things just don't want to cooperate. Alright, there's our other screw. And that is going in. And my dogs are at the door wanting to go out. Okay. There's our Keyless Works cover plate. That one's tight. That one's tight. We're going to put a smear of grease on that one part right here. That is a high friction point. Little 8200 on that. And we're going to test it, see how it works. There you go. There's our time setting. There's winding. So if we come around, winding, our click is functioning, all the gears are spinning. Just give that one little click, not even a click, and everything starts moving. Beautiful. And here's our time setting. That's working good. There's one last thing to do before we say our Keyless Works are complete. And that is that one little spring. I'm going to get this back in the holder. There's a spring that runs from here right across. Alright, Daisy, relax. Yep, take my doggies out. That's good, because we're going to wrap this up. It's already 35 minutes. It's already too long-winded. There we go. That takes a fairly small screw. Alright, Daisy, relax. I know, the sun's out. Finally, springtime. Maybe Mommy's home. There we go. Okay, let's wrap this part up. We'll continue next on assembling the rest of this, get it ticking, and then the chrono part of it. And hopefully somebody can learn something from my mistakes and my techniques. So till then, see you soon.